everybody, man. Welcome, man. Thank y'all so much for taking time out of y'all Sunday to join us and for the Laboratory of Redemption, man. Thank you again for coming back. This is week 10 of the Laboratory of Redemption. So, we normally have a word. Something we go by. Today's word is actually a word that's comprised of several words. So, as you can see, it is grit. Grit is an acronym for something to us, and it stands for something very meaningful that's very applicable to this job, to what anything probably that you can think of. So, grit, we broke it down as it's guts, resiliency, initiative, and tenacity. It's grit, and it takes all of that, man. You need all of that, especially if you want to get in here. It takes guts. It takes gut to bet on yourself, especially when things ain't going right, especially when you've been having stuff and everything ain't been going in your favor. So the odds haven't been in your favor. So it takes guts to bet on yourself. And then when you do decide to bet on yourself, it's gonna be some bumps in the road. It's gonna be some things, something I have this time. I can't nobody watch the kids, this, that, and the third. There's gonna be some things that's gonna interrupt that. So you gotta be resilient and keep going. I know I had to be, but you have to take that initiative when you get, and be able to stand up and say, well, I'm gonna go get my license. I'm gonna do this regardless of what happens. You just gotta keep taking those steps. And you got to be tenacious in when you do it. You got to have tenacity because there's going to be some things that stop you. Going to be roadblocks. There's going to be stuff that you're going to have to bust through to keep going. So this acronym is very, very applicable to any job, any career, to how you view life, but especially this job here. Because it's independent. It says independent. You are independent. So it's something about you that you got to do. It's not a group of people, but if you find a community such as ours, we can help you be that. So that's the word of the day. Man, today's going to be great. We have some great speakers today. Both of them are good friends of mine. One of them is a really good friend of mine. We've been knowing each other quite some time. But Candace Johnson is going to be speaking with us today. She has been in the industry for 18 years. She's worked both sides, auto and property. She's been in out of those 8 years, she's been 8 years. Out of those 18 years, 8 of those has been in leadership. She has staff. She has an IA background. She's been a public speaking coach. So she wears a lot of hats. Even in one of those jobs, it's not like she put the other hats down. She always has all of those hats on. So she's always all of that. So she's going to be speaking with us. So we're very privileged and honored to have her. Along with a great friend of mine. Again, we've been knowing each other for a long, long time, and this guy's a really great person. He's been in the industry. He's had his own licensing, his own school, adjusting school. He's done a major different things. He's Grammy nominated as an artist. He's been a barber. So it's a good friend of mine. His name is Yacha Roseboro.
It up. It'll be next week.
He's gonna be next week. Okay.
Yeah. It'll be Coach Cobra.
Coach Cobra. Well, no, it's not Coach Cobra.
Coach Ryan.
What is it? What I tell you was?
Coach Wild Dog.
Wild Dog.
It's Coach Wild Dog.
Hey, I take it all. No big deal.
Coach Wild Dog. I think it's Coach Wild Dog. Man, let me tell you. We got Coach Wild Dog.
Ride Dog. I done definitely been called Ride Dog. So look,
Wild Dog.
Coach Wild Dog. Okay, let's do it.
Coach Wild Dog. Man, Coach Ryan, man, his name is Coach Ryan, man. He's Coach Ryan, he is an investor entrepreneur. So he basically shows you guys what to do with your money and helps you when you get in here and you start making all of this money. He helps you to not just make it and go spend it or put it somewhere and sit on it, because if you're sitting on it, it's not doing any good. So he helps you put it into the right places, avoid paying the most taxes on your stuff. So he's really, really, that's his thing. So he's going to help and he's going to speak with us and share some words of wisdom in that area, guys. So starting everything off today is going to be the man, the myth, the legend.
That guy
is going to be kicking us off, man. So he's going to be going into the details about what coming up on the horizon for us and some expectations and things of that nature. So, Dr. Brock, if you wouldn't mind taking the floor, please, sir.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. I thank you, man. I appreciate it. You know, I'm super excited about everything. Here's why.
Okay.
Because the only mission of this community is to support you in your growth. That's the only mission in this community, is support you. As you grow, we grow. Right? There was no reason, per my opinion, for what we're doing, that this on Sundays, we don't have at least 400 people on here on Sundays. It's up to you to do that, though. We can't do it by ourselves. We want you to tell everybody, as far as who's in the adjuster community or who's aspiring to be an adjuster, because you can make whatever kind of money you want to make here, but also too, once you make it, we have individuals who will support you along the way from a financial perspective. Also, you have things going on in your life. Let's say, for instance, you have a child who's autistic. We have individuals who will come in and show you and teach you how to deal with that. Because someone who has these different issues going on, we'll make sure we're able to come beside you and walk you through it. Because sometimes life just sucks, but however, with someone beside you, things can be great, right? So my first challenge is this: invite somebody with you next week. There is no reason within this community that we shouldn't have at least 200 people starting off next week in this call. We do it every week. It's designed for our betterment as an adjuster. We want to make sure that we have healthy adjusters, because like Demetrius said, this is super hard. It is absolutely hard, because as independent, you're independent. There is no support when it comes to getting the result for the most part. You see Sterling? He's excited. We held his hand the entire time to have a healthy adjuster. So what happens is, if someone's not held along the way, they become disgruntled because they felt they were alone, because this is individual sport. However, you have enough crazy folks out here to walk with you. We here with you side by side. If you say it ain't true, somebody will say, shut up. Yeah, it is. So grit, that's a big deal. You have to have that, because it's on you, baby. Does that make sense? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll take the ball and pass it. Hey! Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right. If that is true, I'm gonna pass the ball back to you, Demetria. I just want to rhyme.
Oh God.
Wow. Yeah, dude. So we're gonna have to really work on you and that, your cool stuff. But I appreciate that, man.
I have no cool.
No, not at all. We're gonna work on it though. We're gonna work on it, man. You're as cool as you try to be. So next, of course, I would like to bring on another special person to us, Miss Janae. If you would come on and introduce yourself and proceed with that.
And she healthy.
Okay,
She got the healthy account.
Right.
What? So, for those that don't know me, my name is Janae. A little background on me: I started adjusting January 1st of this year. Had no experience going into this. But just to go back to that topic of grit, that's what it takes to get started, really. For me, the word out of the acronym GRIT that stands out the most is initiative. And that's mainly because when I first started adjusting in January, like I said, and like with most people, they just throw you into it. They expect you to know things that you don't really know. So it's very much sink or swim. And of course, it takes a lot of grit to get through that, a lot of resilience, to, not be too down on yourself, or to know what you don't know. You just can't know everything, but I say initiative because when I first started out, like I said, when they just throw you into it, sink or swim, I was on my manager like, hey, I would love to walk through, some inspections with somebody. And like I said, I was on my manager, and he was like, okay, we got a good veteran for you to walk through, link up with him. And just off of that, my first, because I went through 3 inspections with him, that set the foundation for me. I'm very much a hands-on person. So once I was able to see how this guy who's doing it very successfully, how he was doing it, I just knew that over time that I would eventually get there. And so initiative is huge for me, because sometimes you just gotta make your own way. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna hand you everything you need, but you gotta know who to reach out to, and how to get to where you need to get to. You know, because like that's the name of the game. You're an IA, independent, so nobody is gonna hold your hand. But that's what this community is for. You know, we're actually going to be the ones to hold your hand
Absolutely.
and make sure that you get on the right step, and not have to try to find those people to help you get to where you're going. So that's really my background. I've been in Chicago since July. And I mean, we just got a message today from our manager saying expect water claims. So I don't even know when they plan on releasing us. You know, I could be out here for a while, or as long as I would like to be, you know, until I feel like I'm burning out. But that's part of the game. Like, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you can stay employed for multiple months if that's what you want to do. But yeah, so that's my little background into it.
You make
just
any money?
as ever.
You make any money?
Yeah, I did. I made a little change. I think I came out okay. First time making six figures, that's for sure. I definitely wasn't making six figures last
Is the year
year.
over with yet? The year's over with yet? It's not.
The year is not over, and at this rate, yeah, it could be over like 200,000. I don't know. We're gonna see how the year ends up. You know, I'm gonna show everybody my paperwork so nobody thinks it's, there's no fraud going on here. Like, this is actually real. I'm shocked too. I'm actually shocked too. But just as a quick reminder, if you have any questions, guys, please don't be afraid to put them in the chat so that we could get out to you. Also, please, if Major could go ahead and send that contact form, please fill that out, because the things that we have under the surface is scary crazy. It's good. It's real good. So please fill out that contact information so that we could send out those resources to you guys. And what we got next? Oh, adjuster spotlight, of course, my favorite. This week we got Coach Ryan, and it should be very interesting because he's coming from a different background. You know, he was in auto, so that should be really interesting to hear from. We don't get to hear from too many adjusters that, did auto claims or started in auto. So Coach Ryan, if you could come on and speak to us a little bit about how you got started, what you into now. I'm excited for this one.
What's up, y'all?
All right.
So listen, first and foremost, I'm extremely honored as well as excited to be asked to speak, to be a part of the community, to be on this call with you guys. Right now I'm at a family function, so I'm sitting in the car while they barbecue and party and stuff, so y'all don't have to hear the background noise. But so it's a small sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice that's worth it. I'm probably talking about a few things at any point in time. If you need to corral me or steer it in a different direction, don't hesitate to interrupt, because I'm just going to be giving you what I genuinely feel is going to be helpful to those that are licensed as well as unlicensed. A little bit of my background: I attended the prestigious Langston University on football and track scholarship. 3-time All-American in sports. My corporate experience is as a business development manager. I've worked in B2B sales, marketing, and training. Managed $1 million books of business. $1 million books of business, and I've learned a lot of things over the years. Right. When I went into insurance, I didn't go into insurance because I was, hold on, give me 1 second. Give me like 30 minutes. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go to food already. Oh, okay. All right. Look, they're trying to make a run. So, and I didn't go into insurance because I thought that it was going to be a very lucrative industry. I went into it because I was starting my family. I have a family of 4 and a wife and an amazing family. And I needed to be closer. Right. And so there was this job, as an adjuster with a good buddy of mine I worked with in the past. He said it's decent money. But in my opinion, I'm like, I've always kicked his butt. So if he's making that much money, then I know I can make even more. And so I started out. right. And I started out, and it was great. And so I adjusted auto claims. And it
Breaking up a
was
little
for
bit. I don't know if that's for everyone.
NCNU. It was about. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
So it was for okay, AAA NCNU. It was Northern California, Nevada, and Utah. I adjusted some claims in other areas, but I also was an insurance producer before I became an adjuster. That helped me to see the other side of it, right? I think when you're a producer first, for me, when I began adjusting claims, it was easy to see what coverages were applicable, and stuff like that. So it really gave me a leg up, and I was able to bang through probably, I'd say I would close maybe 8 to 10 claims a day.
Oh.
So I got away from that. As a business owner, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm making these companies a lot of money, but how can I make this money for myself? And so I owned a few businesses. I own a tax business. I own a real estate investing company, and a marketing company. And our marketing company specializes in helping professionals get very strategic with their finances. And not just finances on, okay, where do I invest this money? Not even so much as that, because that's more like a legal financial advisor. But someone who helps you to learn and understand strategy. All right. So I want to speak to the unlicensed first, and then let's go to the licensed. Okay. For those that are unlicensed, we can talk about the money and the opportunity, and that's great because it's all really real. But let's talk about the why. Because it's easy to go into something thinking that the why is the money. And while granted, it may be a motivator, that doesn't make it the why. For this community, for those that are unlicensed, the why is going to be what we call in business development differentiators, right? The things that sets this aside from everything else, right? So when you work for, and I'm speaking to my experiences, not being an independent adjuster, but actually working for a company. When you are in that position, you don't get the type of intimate support, right? We spoke about how independent adjusters are really like independent contractors. So you could easily be thrown to the wolves, right? Now, when you are actually working for a company, you have an HR department, you have payroll, you have all of these things to support you. You have a back office, right? In this industry, you really don't have that. I actually began to take a deployment at the beginning of the pandemic. My experience was so horrible with one of the, primary IA companies. It was no customer service. There was no reassurance. It was like, hey, do you want to do this or not? I couldn't ask questions. It was a horrible experience. So I know firsthand the value of this support system in this community that we're all a part of right now. Okay. So you're talking about not only someone to help you onboard, but also someone to help you navigate as you're going through it. The value for that is something companies pay millions and millions of dollars for. And those departments, when you work for those companies, they're just doing the job. They're not going to take the initiative, right, that we're going to take to make sure you have the things that you need to be successful. They're going to say, hey, I gave you what I wanted to give you. If you make it work, you make it work. If you don't, you don't.
On to the next.
When I got my producer's license, we showed up to a new hire class on Monday. We had an instructor that read us the curriculum for 2.5 days. They started scheduling tests on Thursday and Friday. You had 2 chances to pass that test, and if you didn't, that was just it. It was cutthroat. So as I hear some of the things that we talk about on how we're going to be helping you with licensing, how we're going to be helping you with deployments, how we're just going to help you navigate finances. You are getting a wealth. Hear me, y'all. a wealth of resources and compassion, right? And so for those of you guys who don't have your license yet, that's your why, because it doesn't matter what team you're a part of, but you know what they say, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And you're a part of a community that won't allow you to be a weak link. Whatever you're lacking, we're going to assist you in getting and improving. So as we go through this, as we continue to progress towards our goals, keep that why in mind. The money's going to be there. The money is going to be there, but it's the community that is the differentiator. And that's the most that I can give you in this small time frame. But I feel like it's very important for you to know that this isn't just a group of people getting on a Zoom just talking. Like, it's real deal if you haven't had that experience of being an adjuster or going on deployments. For those of you that do have your license, the experience that I have that I can speak to, that I feel will be helpful. When you get into that, and all glory to God, I've been able to make 6 figures for a few years now, right? In my tax prep business, I have only a handful of clients that make 6 figures. But every year I see what their tax debt is. And every year I have to talk to them about, well, why didn't you call me so we could do tax planning? See, when you start making a lot of money, it's not about, okay, well, let me write this off. And before I even finish, can somebody tell me how much time I have? Because I want to make sure I fit all of it in. How much time do I have left?
I think you should finish your thought regardless.
Okay, cool. So it's not just about how many deductions can I write off. Well, I'm going to write this off. Let's talk about some common misconceptions. Some of the common misconceptions is, if I write off enough stuff, I won't have to owe. That's incorrect. Another misconception is, if I make too much money, I'm gonna owe. Another misconception, right? So let me tell you what happens. A person will, let's say for easy math, make $100,000 in a year. And then they'll write off everything that they bought for the year, whether it's a meal, a movie ticket, they write off everything. And then once they subtract all those deductions and everything, that 100,000 adjusted gross income becomes 22,000. And they're happy because guess what? I only owe Uncle Sam $200. Well, here's the problem with that. I'm a firm believer in legacy planning. And there's no way to acquire wealth have wealth without acquiring assets. So I encourage everyone, if you're not a homeowner, everyone should want to be a homeowner. 100%. At $22,000 adjusted gross income, you're not going to be able to buy a house in today's market at all, especially with the interest rates. Right? So that's not the way to go about it, to write off all these deductions. So how do we do tax planning? So, Janae, you said you made some great change, right? So you got to the bag, but there's another step now, and that's securing that bag, right? So for easy math, the tax rate is 20%. So if, just without any add-ons, deductions, on 100,000, you owe 20,000.
I think it might be a little
Everybody
more.
with me so far?
Know. Yeah.
All right. So just for easy math, 100,000, you owe 20,000. Now we're going to go through 2 scenarios on why and this is going to tie into this community is going to help you facilitate this. So if I owe Uncle Sam $20,000, I don't have any deductions or anything like that. I let them take this out of my check before the end of the year even comes. So then when the end of the year comes, I file my taxes, I submit how much I actually paid in, and I have a $0 bill. Okay, that's great, right? Okay. What if you make 100,000, you go tax exempt, right? And you spend $20,000 on a down payment for office building for your business, right? Now you didn't pay Uncle Sam $20,000, right? but you spent it on your business, and now it became a deduction. So you actually got something tangible for that money instead of just giving it to Uncle Sam. Because the tax code is not written for individuals. The tax code is written for business owners. So the foundational strategy that I want to encourage all licensed adjusters to employ, I don't care if you sell snow cones on the side, you're selling lashes, whatever your business is. It could be adjusting. You could say, I'm an independent contractor, but I'm self-employed. And so I'm going to file a specific form to let the IRS know that I'm working for myself, which opens you up to claim the business deductions. And so you're going to couple that with your income from adjusting and be able to use the business perks and business tax perks to take down your tax liability from adjusting, right? So you're able to have more seed to plant. Are everybody with me? I know it's kind of quiet.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you talking that talk.
So, all right. So this is how we begin the process, because let's be honest. I think it's great that so many people are woke and talking about generational wealth. But let's break that down in the context. It's 2 words: generational wealth. Okay. So first you have to have the wealth, and then it becomes generational. All right. So you cannot achieve generational wealth until you have an asset that goes from one generation into the next. That is the start of generational wealth. But how can you even start that process without acquiring an asset that can be passed down anyway? Now, there's all types of assets, whether it's stocks, bonds, life insurance, real estate, right? These are all things that I invest in. But I will be honest, and I'll give this story, and I'll begin to wrap up. My wife and I
can't give them all the gems. We can't give them all the gems this week.
Right.
Next week. Yeah. Hard stop next week.
Let him finish.
No, I'm gonna wrap up. So about 7 years ago, my wife and I bought a home, and we bought that home at $170,000. Right. It wasn't our plan. It wasn't our plan to make it happen this way. All glory to God. Our house now appraises for $340,000.
Ready.
Right?
Yeah.
We didn't plan for it to happen that way, but that's just the way that it works. And we have so many people that shy away from it because of it can be overwhelming and intimidating. But we're here to support you guys, back y'all up in the grand goals and plans that you have. This is a support system to help you get there. So I hope that I've been able to have grit, to hang in there and give us all you got, because we're gonna give y'all the same in return. All right, that's my time.
The road.
All right.
All right. Thank you for that. Coach.
Just to reiterate, the road to licensing really does start with this group, this Adjuster Academy. And the point is for us to help you all the way through. Like, I'm gonna get with Coach Ryan this week, because I need to know how to keep more of the money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, you said 20%, but I think it's more than 20% they taking right now. So I definitely need to get with you about that. But
they're taxing you at 40%.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about what I've been looking at. But yeah, it's just like little things like that. Once you get the money, how to keep the money. And we have someone right in our family that's going to help us with that. I love that. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Ronnie has a question. You got a question, Ronnie? Your hand up. Was that a mistake?
Whose hands up?
No, I have a question. I just wanted to kind of just give some more praise to my bro Ryan. And he's really my bro. That's my sister's husband. So
all right.
everything that Ryan put his mind to, y'all, everything that he does, it's top tier. I've seen it from the beginning. He's always been like that. He's great. He's great as a mentor. He prays with you. He prays for you, honey. He is top tier. So I'm happy that I was able to introduce him to this group.
Thank you, Ryan.
Because I know that he's going to come in and touch everyone in the best way. So just want to give praise to my bro Ryan.
Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing him on. Thank you.
That number appointment here soon. Yeah, that was awesome, and just a glimpse, guys. And again, this is a reminder. This is just something that you have when you are part of this community. That's just one aspect of it. And all of the stuff that Coach Ryan was just talking about, that's just what he brings. There's other people with expertise that are involved in what we do. And the people are not just, starting that stuff. The people that we have that are involved in what they do, that they are killers. They're like dogs. They are really, really good at what they do. So you're not just getting a little help or somebody that know how to, do some taxes here and there, a little something. You're getting some top-notch resources, top-notch people, top-notch expertise in these areas, man. So again, man, from mental health to financial, to how to get started, to all types of things, man. And again, we're just scratching the surface and showing you guys a little bit of what we have, man. We get things, so we're really going to be unfolding things here in the near future. So again, guys, I want to take a little time again to shout out to Mr. Clifton. Mr. Clifton is just got his license, so I want to give a shout out to Clifton, man. Welcome aboard, Clifton.
Congratulations!
All right.
Do that, man. Shout out
Can't
to Mr.
wait
Clifton,
for him
man.
to get started.
Absolutely, man. We ready to hit.
Hey, he dialed in. Yeah, chemist.
I could tell. From the beginning.
Trained
from
chemist.
The beginning, he seems like he's dialed in.
Yeah. He seems like a pilot or something over there or something. Yeah. So,
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's in Oklahoma City?
Few people here.
Oh my gosh, you're in Oklahoma City.
I'm in Oklahoma City. I am.
And so is
Where
Toby.
You better link up. You got no excuse.
Isn't someone else here?
Like lunch.
Is Sterling in Oklahoma City right now?
In Minnesota.
Oh, who was in Oklahoma City talking about the blue
I'm in Oklahoma City, and Dennis is in Oklahoma City.
So where's 3 people here.
Where's Dennis?
I'm in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay. Great. So I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I just got involved. I'm getting ready to finish getting everything so I can start adjusting. But is it possible that, I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I'm going to ask anyway, because it's innocent and I mean well. Is it possible for me to go out with someone while they're adjusting?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
say we should ask Candace. Our dear manager here.
No, to answer your question, yes. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Are you State Farm certified right now?
Not yet. I'm working on Alacrity, and then I have to get that, and then finish the State Farm course once I get access.
We can help you.
He's licensed.
I'm licensed. I just haven't. I'm so new and so in, along the process. I just have to take the State Farm course once it's available to me. It should be in the next day or so.
Hey, Clifton, just a word of the wise. You may want to reach out to Travis. He may be able to help you with that State Farm exam.
I've talked to Travis for quite some time.
Already
had a wonderful conversation.
Okay. I know he can, just.
Hey, I want to tell you something about Travis. You guys might know this. I was sitting here yesterday and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not getting any information. I just finished. I feel like I'm wavering. I texted Travis, and literally 30 seconds later, he called me. 30 seconds.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
That's Travis.
He's all about results, baby. Just here to get the results. How can I help you quickly?
Yeah. Sometimes I just want to text them. Sometimes
no fluff. I don't hear no story. What's the story?
Exactly.
What we doing?
Results.
I don't care about that.
All right, guys. So let's keep things moving along here. Again, man, thanks a lot, Coach. Man, we appreciate everything for that. Man, that was wonderful. But I would like to go ahead and introduce. Hello,
Major.
Okay. I'd like to go ahead and introduce again, the spotlight guest speaker, Miss Candace Johnson, if you would, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Some of y'all I've talked to him before, whoever's new. So Clifton, welcome to the group. Not surprised Travis got to you so quick. He's definitely one that's feeding into all of us, and hopefully you're getting that sense of community. Glad that Toby was able to review and talk to you about joining up for the ride along. It's a great way to be proactive. It's one of the big things we focus on here anyway. So please don't ever feel like you can't ask a question on the call. It's one great thing about this community for sure. So y'all, I'm gonna just take a little bit of time, share a little bit about my story and pretty much how I've evolved through the grit, right? So when they came up with this word, I was like, well, that's exactly along with my story. So I don't mind sharing it. But the first thing that came to mind, honestly, was, I'll be honest with y'all, I wanted to start this out a little different, and y'all may know the theme song starts out a little bit what goes like this. This is a story, y'all, about how my life got. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Anyway, most of y'all don't know me very well. I'm pretty reserved, but I have my times to let my hair down. So I'm gonna share a little bit about my story and my grit along the way, right? So hang in there with me. We'll get through this and get through some good wording. So I got into insurance. Like I said, it's been 18 years. Just to share a really high level for you guys. Like most people, I didn't get into insurance because I was like, oh my gosh, I want to try insurance, right? Or claims. I had a best friend at the time. I was coming off of a contract job recruiting for my university I graduated from, and it was a temporary job. One of my best friends worked for State Farm at the time and was like, hey, you need to get into claims. You got a degree, you make some decent money. I can help you get in. And my contract was going to be done in less than 6 months. And my dad, to be honest with you, was like, you need a career. You need to find a life outside of this contract job, right? Which was recruiting at the time. So I applied at the time. When I applied, State Farm didn't have anything open, but one of the managers was like, hey, just start at a ground level. You can work your way up. It'll happen quick. So I took that advice to heart, right? I mean, the guy seemed nice. My best friend worked there, and agency recruiting. Why not try it? So on top of that, I don't know if y'all heard me say my dad was looking for me to find a consistent job so I could make it, get out of his house eventually, right? Get out of his
from up under him.
A little pressure.
Right. So long story short, I started out as a data intern pretty much to help make sense of it. Literally just transferred policies, listening to music all day, transferring policies. I'm wondering how I'm going to pay my degree back, right? Because I was making like $26,000 a year. Your girl was paying her car note, living with her dad, and little to live over on, right? So of course, keeping in mind, my dad is saying, hey, it's a career. So from there, though, in 2 years, they opened up a call center for agency recruiting. Well, not agency recruiting, but I like agency programs. So I joined that group. It was about $3,000 more a year, working crazy hours, working long hours, sitting in basically a call center environment, taking calls and answering questions about agency programs and things like that. I say all that to say, when I finally got into claims, not only had I been denied 3 times when I applied for an auto claim job, it was a very competitive world. So I got into it on the staff side first with State Farm, denied the job times. And let me tell you, I was definitely at a point of questioning my life.
I was like, resilience.
People keep saying, oh, you'll make a great claims adjuster, just get over there. They make a minimum $40,000 a year at that time. And I thought, well, when you've interviewed a few times and you've got a communication background, it makes you stop and think twice about where you're headed, right? So I kept the feedback, though, coming, right, from those interviews, those managers I met, I kept in touch with. I would send emails every now and then, ask about who I could partner with, like Mr. Clifton just asked, who can I partner with, can I maybe ride along with to get a little bit better knowledge and in-depthness to be ready. So that eventually paid off. I was in auto claims when I finally got the offer for 4 to 5 years with State Farm. I handled at the desk. I handled investigation and then bodily injury before they split up attorney and non-attorney rep claims. I handled both. I handled bodily injury claims from minimal injuries all the way up to death claims. So there's a lot of growth that came through that, right? A lot of things about myself, a lot of things that I learned just in general about Claims 101, file notes, investigation, preparedness, right? And I know that's at the staff desk, it's a little different, but I'm going to continue to tell you some of my story, and there's a lot of parallels to the IA side, or independent adjusting side, right? So from there, I was in auto claims about 5 years. And I decided I wanted to try a different side of the house because to me, it's very important to be well-rounded. And I knew I was going to stay in insurance at that point because they had already told me, you stay in insurance for about 5 years, yeah, you're probably going to stay. Nah, not me. I'm ready to find something else. But the property side interests me. The thing was, the property position that was open was a CAT position in Jacksonville. So I'm a Texas girl, born and raised here, lived here all my life. Got an opportunity to go to Jacksonville to join the property CAT team in-house, right? Great opportunity. I was very excited. Don't know a soul in Jacksonville. It was going to be the first time living away from home, family, friends, all of that. Very excited opportunity.
Guts, right? That's what I was going to say.
What y'all say?
That's guts.
That's guts right there.
Got down there, I found my apartment, done all that online, moved down there. Now, because at that point in my life, they don't move you like with the company, even though I was staff. So packed everything I could fit into my little car, rode on down the road. I know how to drive from Texas to Florida. It's a pretty good drive, but got down there, real excited to meet people in my training class, eager, right? Day 4, my phone rings on a break from training. It's my family. My dad had gone into ICU.
Oh, no.
Unconscious. So in the middle of this break, I'm not only getting a call from family saying, hey, your dad's been sent into ICU. We don't know what's going on. You need to get home. I'm talking to the trainer. I'm trying to get back home, grab a bag, get on a flight. Family find me a flight 4 days in, right? Wow. I head home. I'm home for a few days, for a little bit. My dad's unconscious. They're doing tests for brain activity, things like that. I'm not going to go really in depth. And they get him stable. I'm in the middle of training though, and I'm staff. And I'm going to tell a little bit more about this story. And I probably need to know just to talk about preparedness and understanding the education of what your resources are. So I want to understand that parallel. At that time in my life, I didn't understand, even as staff, the resources that I had available. So like when you heard Coach Ryan talk about that, I didn't think about reaching out to HR about my availability and different things that may be there to protect me in the midst of this situation. My boss's boss was like, hey, she's got to come on back. If her dad is stable, she's got to come on back to Dallas, come on back to Jacksonville. When I'm back, my dad got stable.
That's crazy.
I'm back to Jacksonville. Within 30 days, my dad was gone.
Oh.
So I say, not only did I miss all the training, the time I was here for training was really non-eventful for me because my mind is focused on my dad, family, all these different things. I don't know a soul in Jacksonville. I've met some nice people in training, but I say that to say the parallel to the IA world is definitely the fact that y'all are out there by yourselves, right? You don't know a soul most of the time. You don't always have community, but that's definitely where these kind of things are going to come into community right here. Had I had something like this to tap into, even as a staff person, not only are y'all educating people on life, but you're educating people through the claims world. Long story short, my dad passed. I went back home, came back home, of course. I had a funeral, not 1, but 2, thanks to family. You know how that can go. So 2 funerals later, still trying to deal with his house and getting things together. Again, my boss's boss, she got to come on back. She's been gone about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I get back, training's done. I need to hit the floor. But your girl, I know nothing. I mean, like, when I say nothing, I mean nothing. And if you've been, State Farm as a staffer, they train very well. So to hit the floor counterparts and not understand what you're doing, you're up against a pretty rough game. Long story short, I made it 8 months. And I said, I got to go back. But with CAT, even if you're staff with State Farm, you can't transfer back to Dallas. You have to interview for that spot. And when I tell y'all I bombed that interview because of my lack of healing. So again, I'm going to travel back through some of the things, Travis, you've heard your other leaders talk about and what this community focuses on. My grief in my moments, I interviewed and later the people that had interviewed me earlier, 8 months before, man, I wanted to send you back and I know your situation, but you just didn't do well in the interview. I said, well, I'm be honest, well, damn, my situation. So long story, they didn't give me an offer. So made it, like I said, 8 months after that, went into my boss's office and I quit. I'd been with State Farm 7-8 years. My boss alone said, hey, I never expected you to make it this long considering the lack of training, but I wish you the best. I took a job selling cars to come back for a year and try to find my own motivation again. Had I realized about the independent adjustment of it then, I probably would have transitioned long before I did. But I say that to say, sold cars for a year and decided to go back into property claims with State Farm, clearly, because I had a pretty decent run there. Did property claims again there, in-house for CAT. And then as they did some transitioning, I went into auto claims in the field. Did auto claims in the field for a year. My career was coming up to about 10 years with State Farm, and they were changing some of the CAT structure, which for me made it non-lucrative. If I'm going to be at the beck and call of a BlackBerry, I want to make sure it's lucrative money-wise, right? In the midst of that, I got an opportunity to join a small company with property claims and go into leadership within 11 months. The reason why I took the opportunity with the small company was because I was going to have the opportunity to build out the programs with independent adjusting firms that they had never built programs with. I was building guides. I was helping hire those people, independent contractors, independent adjusters, right? Coming in, we were getting those programs together. Not only did I lead that, but I was able to help run quality plans, morale plans, and things like that, and build the partnership with the independent adjusting firms. So for me, going to a smaller company, although it was smaller, I had to think about the benefit in investing in myself, right? Within 11 months, got into leadership with that company, went to South Carolina to start a brand new team of non-tenured adjusters coming from a call center type situation, right? I don't know if you've all been brand new adjusters, so you know what it's like. They literally came from a call. I mean, our first notice of loss team, right? So they're used to just getting a call in the air. They know nothing about property. I was the only property team out there. We went from a property team of 3 to a property team of 8 and succeeded and surpassed certain goals from people that have been on our team for a few years. Already. So I say all that to say, and when I was out there by myself. We had other departments out there, but we didn't have any other property teams. My property trainer was in Colorado. She came down for 2 weeks to get us started. My boss came and visited 2 weeks when we got started. And then he left. And then, I mean, everything was virtual. It's all right. It's cool. I got it. But I say that to say, a lot of times through life, things are going to happen. We're going to transition. Things are going to happen. The grit piece that we're talking about today, you have to help drive it. When I got to South Carolina, I knew I was going to be on my own. Again, I knew nobody, right? Starting all over again. Being in South Carolina, coming up on 2 years, I get a call from my brother. My brother says, hey, my son is being rushed to the hospital. We can't get a pulse. Y'all don't know me. My nephews are my world. I don't have kids. Those are my babies. Okay. Get my mom, because she had come up at the time. We head home to Dallas, all to find out his pancreas has stopped working. For those of y'all that don't know what that means, it automatically throws someone into being type 1 diabetic. He was in Children's Hospital for over a week. As I'm getting ready to come back to SC, because that's home now, I'm thinking, is it safe? I'd gone to game night with him. My brother had been sick, but hadn't gone to get checked. My brother goes into urgent care as I'm ready to get in the car to head back. Ends up in a trauma unit and doesn't get out. Before I can leave, they diagnose him with kidney failure.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about grit, perseverance, and being in beast mode. Let me tell you about how my earth shook again. And a lot of people are going to say, well, you know what? She was staffed. She had support. She's good. You're right. But in that moment, I've got to get back to SC. I got a whole team to run, and I don't have nobody else to send. Eventually, of course, my boss, I can work virtually. You got to come back, Candace. I got you. But I'm going to need y'all to know right now, I'm going to need to head back to Dallas. And what he told me was, let me check on some things. I'm going to get back to you. He got back to me and said, we moved you up there. And I know it's been 2 years, so the contract piece of your move is done, but we're not paying to move you back. So you can move back, and we can probably keep and have you build another team in Dallas, but you'll need to figure out that move. I don't know if you've ever moved state to state before with a parent, so it's not just you in 2 cars. It's not the cheapest thing to do. And when you're staff, you don't make the same money that you make under contract, right? Not only that, you're talking about in the midst, again, devastation. My brother's got stage 4 kidney failure. My nephew's now learning how to handle being diabetic at 11. And, just trying to work through it all, right? Like, you have to take a moment and try to figure out how to proceed. So The company decided I could come back and build another team. They were going to be building in that spring. I figured out a way to move my mom and I back. My whole bonus pretty much that year that I had worked my ass off for, gone to move my mom and I mean, not all of it, but a good amount, because then I had to secure a place in Dallas. I had to break a lease somewhere else. You know, I mean, like there's all these different areas, right? But in that, I still have to be a leader. I still have to be able to train adjusters, right? So when we talk about over the last few weeks, persevering through things, when we talk about being prepared, there's a lot of things that come with that. And we understand that life is going to happen. That's why this community, when you heard Coach Ryan say what he said, there's a reason for that, right? But we also have to be able to bounce back. So when we talk about grit today, I want to share the fact that hearing my story, and let me tell you how I joined the IA firm. The smaller company I was with got bought out by another big name. In the midst of that big company had more people going to stress leave and leave than they had ever seen in their history. I stuck it out for a while. And then I started to feel those same effects. I'm a leader who leads different. I don't lead like a lot of leaders lead. I was in South Carolina. I not only started a property meeting with a homemade rap. I'm sure y'all don't see that in my feature, but I'm just telling you now, I busted out a little rhyme in 6 bars. But it was because I was trying to connect with the reps. I was connected with the reps, I gotta tell you. And it was on Halloween, so it worked out really well. But in addition to that, I can remember the first time my team hit some of the metrics that we hadn't hit before, and they weren't projected to hit for some time. I played the T.I. song Motivation. If you know the song, it's not really an HR-friendly song, but I got happy, right? And I felt like they needed to be celebrated. I wasn't really thinking about some of the words. I was thinking more of the instrumental, but the words got played. So that just gives you some idea. But I say all that to say this. In the midst of it all, getting back home, the smaller company being bought, all these people going out on stress leave, I ended up myself on stress leave. That's how I found the IA world for myself. I started having panic attacks, stress moments, anxiety attacks. My counselor was like, you gotta go. You're gonna have to go out on stress leave or you're gonna have a problem. In the midst of that, I said, you know what, I can't do this to myself anymore. It doesn't matter.
Was that like burnout?
Huh?
Was that like burnout?
It was burnout, it was stress, it was overwork. And for the money, I started looking for jobs left and right. And when I tell you that the best offer came from an independent adjusting firm, and to start in 3 days, which wasn't gonna matter. The company I was at, anytime you leave and it's a competitor, they're gonna hire you anyway. So it wasn't a problem. But I can remember in that moment asking myself, do I make the switch? When I went through with what happened with my dad, I had friends that did an intervention because they were like, we're used to you being motivated. We're used to you being prepared. You've come back and started selling cars, which is fine, but you seem to be in a rut. You're in a moment of not moving forward, doing anything else that you had a passion for. Here it is now. I'm having stress moments, anxiety attacks in the middle of the workday. So I say all that to say, when I joined the IA world, it was the best decision probably of my entire life. And not only did I make more money, which I understand it's not all about money, but when you think about coming back to a family where you hadn't been here to support, that was going through what my family was going through, that was January, they got diagnosed. I was back home in March, and then I moved to an independent adjusting firm that July. It meant a lot to me to be able to say, hey, if they need anything, I'll be able to help. I made more money the time I was with the IA firm than I did normally in what I would have made in a year. In way less time. Now, I worked some interesting hours, but when we talk about grit, it all became worth it. So when you think about persevering through things, getting into beast mode, redemption as you're going through things, you're going to have those moments of guilt. You're going to have moments where you feel like you could have done things different. But I'm a firm believer that a lot of times the door opens where it's supposed to open. So when you think about grit and resilience and initiative, when you think about being in the independent world and how you have to drive it, like Coach Ryan just said, it's all about investing in yourself. As I became an independent leader, right, for the independent side, there was no Now I was lucky. The client that we were with, they did a lot of training, but a lot of them don't do that. So as I've gotten into the director role, a lot of my independent adjusters, they have to be proactive. They have to be tenacious. They have to take the initiative to go out online for the things they don't know. So when you think about the anatomy of a roof and peeling back the shingles, getting down to certain levels, how do you find that if they're not trained in it? Where do you find it? Because I don't have it right now. I don't have it. The accounts I'm leading for right now, we just got a trainer that's helping on 2 accounts. But before that, any of the independent adjusters that were on our team, they're going to have to go out there and find it. Now, I'm more than glad to help them Google some things, right? There's a ton of resources. You need the anatomy of a roof and peeling back the shingles and what that looks like, but you're responsible for going to find it. Same thing with YouTube and these videos with these amazing adjusters out there that are making those, or some of these other firms, you know, that are doing some amazing training classes that at some point we'll be offering. So I'm excited about that.
Exactly.
So say all that to say, it does take grit from all of us at any point in life. I'm a big component that you got to stay in the fight of life. There's no way to do it without going through the grit, without tapping into beast mode at some point, right? And you can always prepare for the unexpected, but there's going to be things that take your breath away. I didn't expect my dad to pass in the first 30 days of me being in Florida. I shared what happened in the first 2 years of me being in South Carolina. I was just looking at buying a house. So I was looking at playing roots when all of that changed, right? So imagine when Demetrio called me and said, hey, I'm a part of this community now for independent adjusters. We worked together a few times, you know. And I was like, just come in and listen every now and then. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And wholeheartedly, I'm gonna lie, I was kind of like, I don't know. No, I don't know. And so I listened. The first one, I was like, okay, I like that. I like what they're doing. Came back a second or third time, and I was like, I called a few other people because I was like, you know, this is the kind of thing that independent adjusters that I've met, no matter what level they're on, can take and really grow from if they're willing to put in the time. And when we talk about independent adjusting, no matter what level you're at, you have to be willing to take the initiative. You have to be willing to be resilient. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to be successful. And if you don't tap into the community for the things you need, getting to beast mode is going to be next to impossible. So I wanted to stand here with you and tell you I'm here. I'm so excited to be a part of this community and a part of y'all's leadership team. Anything you need, you can tap into me as well. You do have great opportunities for financial freedom, to open some doors for some things that a lot of people would not have had opportunities to, maybe due to lack of other things. It doesn't even matter to me, you know, but sometimes we just don't know where to tap into. And I've heard a lot of people say, you know, I think it was Ronnie that stood out to me. He mentioned, you know, how many people she's talked to about adjusting in general, right? There's so many lives that can change. And we just don't, a lot of times we don't talk about it, or a lot of times, you know, it is a lot about the money, but it really is life-changing. And if we get in a community like what this is being built as, it's a life-changing community. It's not just about adjusting. Whether it's auto or property, it doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're making a life-altering decision to walk through the grit, because no matter who you are, at some point in life, it's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. And I can't tell you how many adjusters I've met in the IT world when I'm hiring, when I'm releasing different things that come up, that have said they got into the industry because of a life-changing situation. Either it was, you know, I can think of one adjuster, they got into it because somebody in their family died and nobody had money to bury. And what he said was, when I go, I can't put my kids through that. And I said, man, that's shoot, I think I teared up when he said that to me. You know, because you hear a lot of times people say, well, you know, they may not be able to keep work. You know, Janae, she was just sharing earlier how they're talking about how they're going to be extending because they've got more claims coming. You're right. There's not always going to be a way to keep work consistently. But what I can tell you as a director, when the accounts come around along with longevity, we're looking for those people that have the grit, that have the beast mode, that have the emotional maturity. And you're not always going to be able to do it by yourself. None of us have. That's why this community is key. And right now, it's free. You got a ton of resources to tap into. And I'm with Travis and I'm with the rest of the leadership team. Let's get everybody in here. We can get in here.
I'm so happy that you are on our team. I can't
I'm
say it enough.
so
I'm so happy.
But to tap in.
I'm so happy.
Man. Look.
And be coachable, guys. Be coachable.
No idea. Thank you. So I just say I'd like to say, so excited to be here and be a part. I'm here for anything you all need. Redemption, man. When Demetrio told me the name of it, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I didn't even remember. I think it took a few meetings. Oh, dang! Did he say? Are they saying laboratory redemption? So there's so many things that I think people that'll join, they may not pick up at first, but they will. They will. And I can't think of how many independents that have mentioned they just don't know where to go for the community. And they may have gotten into it with family, friends, but a lot of times they don't always have the opportunity to sit with them and help them grow because they're on a deployment themselves, whether it's in the field or at the desk. So I just say that, continue to share the word. Let's grow together. Let's heal together. I love the fact that this particular group stands for way more than just focused. It's about healthy. You know, you heard Travis say it earlier, healthy, adjusting. We need to all do it. You know, anything I can do, feel free to reach out. I appreciate you all. I'm gonna pass it back to Demetrio.
Yes.
Feel free to reach out if you all need anything.
If anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate.
That was awesome, Candace, man. I mean, man, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Man, that was awesome. That was awesome, man. The speakers that we had tonight, Ryan, Candace, I mean, everybody, man. Man, I hope this is giving y'all some insight to some things to come. And the people that we have available, just right now, the people that we have available right now, I paid money for to be, to get the words and so they can help me be in line.
Demetrio, remember when we first started, Demetrio? It was tough.
Dude, me and Travis were on the road. Me and Travis were on the road 4 hours every day, 2 hours there, 2 hours back, just to go get some help from a guy who wound up not liking us and telling us we was laughing too dang much. Because we was just didn't know something. We was like, oh my God, it was just funny. Because we was like, we can't believe we just lost. Anyway, so yes, we would have killed to have this, man, back then. So I'm really excited to be able to be a part of this, man, and to be able to bring this to you guys. I'm excited. I feel like I'm just in the part of the community that's with the people and all of these people being brought to the forefront. I'm excited. Like, I'm definitely going to be utilizing Coach. I'm going to be utilizing for the credit. What was her name? Eva. I'm going to be utilizing Eva.
It's also Farrah Code too. Farrah, she called Mastermind. You're going to be a part of. She in here. Tax Dragon. She right there.
Yeah,
she
absolutely. I see Farrah down there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So. I mean, guys, and that's still just a tip of what we have available in store for you guys. So again, man, I'm so excited, man. I just want to welcome everybody again. Bring somebody, the Laboratory of Redemption. You guys that are adjusting, join this 100K club. Put that as a goal. Stamp it on your wall. Put it on there. 100K in a month. That's still the goal.
And get licensed. Get licensed.
Get licensed.
Shout out to Clifton again for getting his license.
Absolutely. Clifton, shout out to Clifton. Ryan spoke this week, but next week, Coach Ryan is coming back. He's going to speak some more in a little bit of greater detail. So that's why we're trying to cut him off a little bit because he's going to be coming back next week to speak. And so the gentleman I was speaking of earlier today, I think we may be able to get him on next week. So in actual, the word of next week is going to be investment. So not only financial investment, but investing into yourself mentally, education, all types of investment. So the word
getting
of next week is investment, getting licensed, all of that
preparing yourself to go on deployments. Yeah,
absolutely. So that's going to be upcoming for next week, guys. Again, you guys have any questions, drop them in the Discord Q&A. Please fill out that contact information. So that we'll have a way to get this information that we have available that's going to be coming out to you so we can flood this out to you guys. Again, thank you so much for spending your time with us this Sunday evening. I know you guys had a lot of other stuff you could be doing, man. So I really do appreciate you all choosing to be here, man. So guys, is there anything we got to say? Anyone want to say anything before we get out of here?
Bring somebody next week. This is a free community. We get buckets. We care and we love them. And I promise you, when the pay community come, it is gonna be sick. We got Candace, Coach Candace.
Man, y'all hear I can't talk
that
thing? The stuff that she done been through.
That she was talking about? Oh, nasty.
Look, y'all better get her.
Hey, Candace, I'll be reaching out to you to get your contact information.
Booyah. All right. That's what we do. We contact. See how it's as simple as that, y'all. Y'all want to call, and it's somebody that you be like, man, I want to get in contact with. You just boom, unmute. Hey, coach, I need to get in contact with you. I'm gonna drop my information down. It's as simple as that.
Then shut up. And then shut up. Don't talk too much.
It's as simple as that. Hey, Candace, I got questions. Here you go. Here's my information. Boom, 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 boom.
No. Hey, we need structure. Toby gotta say something. We need structure. Toby gonna structure it out properly. She's gonna say, nope, not. Yeah, she's gonna ATC us out. Nope.
That's an ATC, baby.
Decency in order.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something right quick too.
Okay.
I just wanted to say something. When you're doing your invites, even though this is the Laboratory of Redemption and the primary foundation is adjusting, but there's this community is heavily involved with helping people out through everything, different aspects of business, relationships, figuring out what to do once they get their hands on the bag, as they say. And you just want to let them know it's not just one source. It's multiple sources inside this community that can help people out with whatever business that they're in, as whatever type of contractor they are, independent or hired by somebody. So that would be good to let them know. That way they won't come in expecting just one source of communication.
And we're bringing investment opportunities to you. So we bring them, say, hey, here you go. We got somebody got some apartment buildings you want to buy. Bet we got some folks from investors.
Yeah. Already. Yeah,
it's a well-rounded community, basically.
Absolutely. That's definitely a great point to make. So that's another thing, guys.
That boy good.
Yeah, that boy good. That boy like them Cowboys. That boy like that hat.
Great job, guys. Great job. Amazing. Yep. Great job.
That's my big brother right there.
Great job.
Man,
that's amazing. We're praying for the sister who did the talk. She's amazing. Awesome. Keep up the great work. All of you guys.
All right, Doctor.
About $1 million. I can get $1 million for y'all for a new church.
I know.
All right.
Hey, BJ, this kid here on playing basketball. This kid used to bully me. Hey, Coach B, he used to bully me playing basketball. I hated him so much. He didn't let me know about it.
That's what he know about it.
He's supposed to do that.
Yeah, right, he's supposed to be tough on
that.
I hated it.
I don't want to make you a chump. I want to make you a champ.
Yeah.
I was ducking him so bad. I said,
now
you're a champ. But no, all of you guys are champs. And at the church, we've been taking a lot of young people between the ages of 13 and 18, young men. So we're excited about the change of positivity. Just stay positive, stay upbeat, stay with goals, and keep doing what you're doing, because the sky is the limit. So just very proud of y'all. And you guys have a great evening.
Thank you, Pastor Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Right. Before we get off, I just want to once again just tell you guys thank you. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to connect with you all. I hope that I was able to provide something of value, just as much as I've taken away tremendous value. I strongly believe that this community is a community of treasure, and it's on us to uncover it all. And I know that I'm in great company, so I like what's going on.
Yeah, stick with us.
Say that again.
Stick with us.
Yeah, treasure. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your presence, man, for blessing us, man. We appreciate you. Man, it's been awesome, man. Y'all missed it. Y'all better catch this replay on YouTube or something, man. Say that, put that in man. This one right here, all look good, but this is right here, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, man, thank everybody, man. Thank you guys so much again. Next week, investment. Coach gonna be coming back. Y'all top Grammy nominated. You know what I'm saying?
Every nominated.
A lot of good stuff next week, man. We're gonna continue, man. I hope everybody have a great growing week. Prosperous week, man. Great peace, mental health, everybody. Guys. And man, we'll see you guys next week, man. Peace and love. Cliff, Congratulations again, sir.
Hey, Cliff, how's the study going for the Xactimate? How's that going, Cliff, for the Xactimate study?
Cam, I appreciate you coming in, sir.
It's really good. I'm just absorbing all of it.
He's gonna be an Xactimate expert.
Really cool. It's really good.
It look like it. He call him a nerd.
I do want to.
He call him a nerd.
So yeah, he look like he just look proficient. He just look proficient. He look like I could send him some sketches to fill out.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah. Nah, you just goofy.
Oh, okay.
Look at that, man.
Now, what you saying, Clifton?
Oh, I just wanted to know. So those 2 links in there, were those the forms I need to fill out so people would have my number so they could call me and I can go out with them? Is that what I do? What's that?
Toby, what you think, Toby?
Coach Ryan dropped his number in there, so I know he said. I think he said you can call him. So I know
he dropped it in there.
As far as the ride along, that's what Toby and Dennis. Yeah.
Okay, I'll fill out those forms.
Clifton?
Yes, sir.
Were you asking to ride along?
Yes.
Yeah. I got some inspections Tuesday. You can ride along with me.
Look at that.
You're at OKC?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let me tell you where they are.
I have to see what's happening on Tuesday, but I might have something happening on Tuesday. But if Tuesday's clear, absolutely.
Yeah, let me give you my number. What do we do?
Yeah. I just give the number. Put the number, give it to him, whatever. You can give it to him verbally. We don't care.
I got a pencil right here.
There you go.
Stay ready.
405-255-3648.
Ooh, everybody got your number. Dude.
Don't tell nobody.
Everybody got your number.
That's the hookup.
Cam Bell, what's up, baby? Cam Bell, talk to me, man. What you thinking, bro? What you thinking?
I also have some Thursday.
What you thinking, bro?
So I'm looking. I'm wanting to do a ride along as well with my man D.
Okay, we converted him. Welcome to Death Row.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we can make that happen, man. We can make it happen. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you stay in Chicago or are you?
I'm in Aurora. I got an Airbnb out in Aurora.
Okay. Perfect. You're right down the street from me. I'm in Yorkville.
Okay, you in Yorkville. Yeah, man, we get together, man. We go have some lunch, chop it up or something, man. We make a plan. You got my number. I text you the information, so lock me in. We'll get together real soon, man.
Got you.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming, man. Thank you for showing up.
My pleasure. All right,
absolutely.
All right,
great game today. Great game.
Y'all
play, man.
Come to dance. That means it's over. It's
hell. That's a 2 finger salute. That means you go that way.
Oh,
you
Chiefs.
go that way. Oh no, this thing.
Get out of here, bro.
Oh man.
Oh hell.
Waving now.
All right, Ricky said. All right, man.
I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm still waiting on the meeting to talk about the pictures. I'm talking about the pictures. I need to know.
Check it out. Real quick, before we hang up. On the pictures, Ricky, whoever the website ever fire them, they are no service.
No, hold on. I've already talked to Major.
All right.
So we're gonna work it out.
Hey, let's get some t-shirts and wear them to Michigan, man.
Okay.
Right. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
I'm down.
All right. And Dimitri, I'm gonna give you a call.
Okay, hit me up.
All right.
Clifton.
All right, Rick.
Clifton, give me a call, buddy, so I can get your number too.
Dennis, y'all take it easy.
I'm gonna right after this is over. Got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Appreciate it.
All right. I'm so crazy. I went to go look for my phone. All right, let me get off here.